Monday Night Raw from October the 13th, 2025 was actually pretty decent. Seth Rollins being kicked out of the division was awesome. We're going to go over that first, and then from there we're going to get into the rest of the show, because that's the most important piece of this show, really. Everything else on the show was, at best, okay. It furthered some things, but clearly the main story was Seth Rollins being betrayed by the Vision. So we'll talk about that first, and then from there we'll get into the rest of the show. So we kicked the off with the Vision. Seth Rollins shows up along with the rest of the Vision. He puts over Paul Heyman, saying that he's the undisputed GOAT and that he's blessed for having him in his presence. He put over Bron Breakker, saying that 6 months ago he heard whispers about potential, but he's flourished, and he became everything that Seth Rollins thought that Bron Breakker could be and more. He put over Bronson Reed by saying that 6 months ago he was on the shelf, and that he gave him every bit of knowledge he had about Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns, and he destroyed him as well as embarrassed him. He is now the new tribal chief. And then Seth Rollins says that he doesn't need anybody. Roman needed the Shield. Roman needed the Bloodline. Cody needed him to help him beat Roman. He never needed anybody. He didn't need Bronson Reed or Bron Breakker. He didn't need Paul Heyman when he beat CM Punk or Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He did that on his own. And then he won the World Heavyweight Championship on his own. And then he trounced Cody Rhodes with one good arm on his own. And he doesn't need anybody. He doesn't need the men in the ring. He chose them. And then that was the end of the, and they've chosen him. And that was the end of the promo. So this makes perfect sense. Now, we know that Seth Rollins is a bullshit artist. He needed the J&J security, the authority to get him back, to get him over in 2013. I think from 2013 to 2015. Then in the COVID years, the pandemic, he needed AOP, the Authors of Pain, to get him over when he was doing the Monday Night Raw Messiah gimmick in 2019 to, I think, 2021, 2022, when he was doing that gimmick. So, yeah. But this was an okay promo, and I kind of saw things going this way anyway. So this does make sense. And this was basically a plan that was mastermind by Paul Heyman. So we continue on, moving on from that. So we go into the middle of the show, and basically Seth Rollins is happy that the Vision won this past weekend, and he said, he's proud of all of them. He's proud of all of them. And it's made him proud. He's just as proud of them as he was when he got married to Becky Lynch and had his first child. And then he said he doesn't know what's next, but whatever it is, he's ready for it. So Seth Rollins can feel that something is big on the horizon. He said what they did to the Usos was great. And this the most incredible weekend he's had of his professional life. Rollins compares the birth of the Brons to the birth of his daughter and marrying Becky Lynch. This is the mountaintop. This is rarefied air. Breathe it in, because very few men know what this is like. Seth Rollins says he's on cloud nine, and there's absolutely no one that can knock him off this mountaintop. So that was great there. Good stuff. Then this leads us into the main event of the evening, where CM Punk is now the new number one contender. He defeats Jey Uso. He pins him. Post-match division, they show up. They beat down LA Knight and Jey Uso. CM Punk is still in the ring. Seth Rollins comes out. Division beat up CM Punk. And then they lay all of them out. And then Bron Breakker out of nowhere spears Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman is shook. He's shocked, which is great. And then Bron Breakker tells Bronson Reed to make a decision. Then Bronson does the tsunami. And then Bron Breakker tells Paul Heyman to make a choice. And then Braun poses with the World Heavyweight Championship. And then we go off the air. So this is perfect. This was a master plan by one Paul Heyman. This is great. The reports have been saying for months that Netflix actually want Braun to be the face of Monday Night Raw. So could it be, come Survivor Series, we get a triple threat, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Bron Breakker, where Bron Breakker defeats Seth Rollins and he's the new World Heavyweight Champion. And then maybe you have Austin Theory come in to replace Seth Rollins. And you have Braun lead the faction. Right? Because Seth Rollins does not need a faction. And see, this whole Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman thing to me has always been odd. Why? Because Rollins has always been an okay talker. He's not the best, but at times he's okay when he wants to be. So Seth Rollins never really needed a Paul Heyman like Roman Reigns, like CM Punk, and like Brock Lesnar. Rollins has never really needed a mouthpiece like that, or someone to manage him, to guide him. He's always been his own man, basically. So I do like this. This was very, very interesting. Good shit here. We need to get an explanation as to why this happened as soon as Monday Night Raw comes on the air next week. So we need that. That's the first thing we need to see. Hopefully Seth Rollins sells this where he's not there for a couple weeks and everything. But I do think this is going to lead to a triple threat match at Survivor Series. CM Punk, Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins, and where Bron Breakker finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that's where we go with this thing going forward. So we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out on that regard. Moving on to the remainder of the show. So from there, from all the Seth Rollins stuff, we had a backstage interview involving Penta. He ran into Rusev. Rusev says that he should be having this match. He's already beat Penta before, and Dominic Mysterio cheated him out of the IC title a couple weeks ago. So Adam Pearce is allowing Rusev to face the winner of this match. So if Penta becomes the champion, don't think Rusev forgot about that kick from last week. Rusev tells Penta to pray, and Penta calls Rusev a Pendero. So let's lead us into the first match of the night. Dirty Dominic Mysterio retains the Intercontinental Championship against Penta in a really fun match. This match was fun. Great finish here. So, towards the end of the match, Dom throws the title into the ring. The ref goes after it. And then Dom grabs the bell hammer. He puts it into his boot. He hits the 619 and hits the frog splash with the 1, 2, 3. Dom wins. So really good stuff there. Love it. Dirty Dom kicks major ass. He needs to get away from the fucking Judgment Day. But this was great. This is a pretty good way to start off the show match-wise. Moving on, this leads us into Jackie Redmond. She had a backstage interview with LA Knight. He didn't say much of anything. He just talked about how he was going to win. CM Punk showed up and he said the same thing, and they had some words, and that was it. So it is what it is. This leads us into Asuka. She's yelling at Kairi for losing that crown jewel. Kairi apologizes, but she knows she can fix this. Then Asuka says she'll be facing Rhea tonight, and they're going to destroy everyone. And then Asuka then smacks Kairi, and a nasty bruise is on her forehead. So Good stuff there. Good shit there. Moving on, Rhea defeats Kairi Sane, and then Io shows up, and then Io and Rhea are beaten up. So Rhea wins via the Riptide and everything. So that's fine there. Good stuff there. Because Asuka grabbed a kendo stick. No, Io grabbed. No, my bad. Kairi grabbed a kendo stick and beat the shit out of Io with it. And then Asuka laid out Rhea with a DDT on the announce table. So good stuff there. Moving on, we get some more Uso drama. So the Usos, they're at each other's throats. So Big Jim is ready to represent the family when he takes on Bronson Reed later on. Jimmy is flabbergasted that Roman is still blaming him for everything, even when they're trying to help him out. Jay says that Roman only looks out for himself. Maybe they should do the same. Jimmy says that Jay doesn't sound like himself. Jay appreciates that Jimmy's going after the vision. Jay has a big triple threat match tonight, and he can't make the same mistake he made in Paris. So Jimmy's on his own tonight. So Jimmy says that Jay is making it out like he can't handle business with Bronson Reed. Jimmy asks Jay, "What's good, Oos?" Jimmy tells Jay to handle his business, and he'll handle his own right now. Which Bronson Reed destroys Jimmy Uso. He wins via the tsunami. Good stuff there. And then post-match, Bron Breakker shows up to beat up Jimmy, and then Jey Uso shows up to make the save. And then they bounce out. And then Jay scolds Jimmy for taking this match. So we've got Uso trouble, which is fine. It makes sense. We don't know when the Bloodline's going to really get back together. We don't know. Remember, Roman said, "I don't want to see you guys till Christmas." So, so Roman's going to be gone for a while, basically. He's going to be gone for a while. He's going to take some more time off for sure. So we won't see him for a while. He might return maybe early December to build whatever they're going to do at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. So there is that. Moving on, this leads us into Lyra Vaquer. So she asked Bayley if she's good. Bayley says she's not jet-lagged. She's in good spirits. Lyra still doesn't know if she can trust Bayley. The Judgment Day are always on the same page. When Bayley and Lyra are good, they're great together. And at other times, they can be a bit off. But unless Lyra is 100% sure of the Bayley she's going to get tonight, it's just a one-time thing. Bayley's not buying that. So, all right. Then Bayley and Lyra Vaquer, they proceed to beat the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So they end up winning, which is fine. Towards the end of the match, Lyra smacked the shit out of Bayley. Bayley went real schizophrenic, and she beat up Roxanne Perez and got the pinfall. She hit the Rose Plant and got the win. So there's that. Then this leads us into AJ Styles and Adam Pearce. So AJ Styles said that Crown Jewel was an amazing night. It would have been better if he won the match against John Cena. So Adam Pearce congratulates AJ. Dom shows up. Dom brags about being the only double champion on Raw. And then basically it leads to a tag match next week, which is going to be the Judgment Day. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they're going to defend their tag titles against Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, which should be fun. So that's cool there. Moving on, this leads us into Stephanie Vaquer. She didn't really say anything. She had an interview. She said that she feels blessed. She's the first ever in WWE to win 4 titles in 1 year, which is correct. So Raquel Rodriguez shows up. She speaks in Spanish for a small bit. So Raquel says that Stephanie shouldn't have gotten emotional over a title that she never won. That she never should have won. So then Roxanne Perez shows up because Stephanie Vaquer says that it's not her problem that Raquel is having a bad night. So, Roxanne begins to speak for herself and saying that if she was in that match, she would have beaten Io Sky. No, she was the last one to beat Io Sky. She should have been at WrestlePalooza, and she should be Women's World Champion. Matter of fact, she should be Crown Jewel Champion. Yeah, she should have been at Crown Jewel. So, then Stephanie Vaquer says she doesn't care who she's beaten because you never beaten me. And if you want to face me, stop crying and do something about it. So Roxanne Perez says that she will. It's going to be on her time and not Stephanie Vacker's. And then Stephanie says, I'll wait in my Inferno. So that's cool stuff there, I guess. So I guess they're standing up Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer, which is fine. That's good shit. That's pretty good work rate shit there. I'm down for that. So, interesting stuff. So, all in all, Monday Night Raw was okay. Again, the Vision kicking out Seth Rollins was a smart fucking decision. That was a wise decision. Maybe they'll add, like I say, if the rumor is true, they could add Austin Theory. So maybe he'll factor in eventually, maybe at Survivor Series or whatever. But Braun has got to win the match, all right? I know people are talking about CM Punk. Look, CM Punk has been back for 2 years, right? CM Punk does not need to be champion, okay? He doesn't. He does not, okay? CM Punk is in his 40s. He's in his 40s. If he needs to be champion, I wouldn't have him be World Heavyweight Champion. I would have him be WWE Champion and not World Heavyweight Champion, right? Because World Heavyweight Champion is basically just for work rate guys. So Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, guys like that. But Gunther, so, maybe they'll add Dragunov in this thing too for the Vision. But this was good. I really did like the continuation of the Io Sky, Kairi, and Asuka situation going on. I really dug that. Lyra and Bayley, their little story is okay as well. I still don't get the whole schizo Bayley. It doesn't make any damn sense, like where they're going with this shit. So this is interesting. The Vision kicking out Seth Rollins, that's good. I'm very, very excited to see where that leads. I don't know what they're going to do with LA Knight going forward. I have no idea. What are they going to do with the Usos? Like, where's that going with Jimmy and Jay at odds and everything? Where's that going to go? So all in all, the show was okay for the most part. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.